Hi, good morning. Welcome to Coffee with Me. I'm Susan B. Lochocki, running for President of the United States as a write-in, and this is my temporary kitchen. Welcome. Let me get comfortable here. I hope you're comfortable. Yeah. So, it's Memory Monday, September 14th. And I'm in a new location with a new kitchen, as you see. And it's still Childhood Cancer Month, according to the White House. Apparently, it's a month of many things. So, there's lots of celebrations going on. It's cancer awareness, childhood cancer awareness, I believe is what it's called. So I want to talk a little bit about a memory I have that I cherish, that I will never forget as long as I live, about childhood cancer and determination. So one thing I don't know if I sort of went over is that when my daughter had cancer and it was overtaking her body, the leukemia, apparently it brings on a lot of pain and discomfort, and you lose certain abilities. So, she was a 3-year-old and suddenly she couldn't walk anymore. And I didn't know why. The doctors I went to didn't know why, and it was really frustrating. So there she was, being 3, and she wasn't a baby anymore, so she was a bit bigger, and it was a lot to carry her around. And we had just gotten a new house, and taking her up and down the stairs, having to carry her, was a lot. Anyway, long story goes into a longer story. We finally figured it out, and she started treatment. And we were somewhere in the treatment, I guess, I'm going to say within the first 2-3 months when this probably happened. We had already started cooking in the kitchen when she was, probably 2, and I would always prop up a chair by the stovetop, and then we would cook together. We would make cakes and breads and scrambled eggs. She liked to make scrambled eggs. She could really do that by herself, and it was very sweet. So at the beginning of her diagnosis, she was still able to stand sometimes at the stovetop, and we could still sometimes cook together. But then once she started getting treatment, things changed, and her legs actually got even weaker for a time, and then she also started gaining weight. So this story takes place on a day where it was just the 2 of us at home, and she had already had me cook many times for her that day. It was a hungry day for her, so she was just eating everything in sight, and most of it was pasta. And she was hungry again. And so we went into the kitchen, and she really wasn't able to stand even. And I needed a break because it was really intensive with her that day. And, I can't remember all the details of what happened, but I just know I was exhausted. And I was the only one around, and we didn't have any dogs at the time, so it was just her and me, and we had watched I don't know how many different Disney movies, and talked and played and did all sorts of things, and she was hungry. And if I'm remembering it correctly, it's like the 7th meal she had that day. So I just wanted to go into the kitchen and cook and have peace and quiet. But she was determined to cook with me, like we used to. But I knew that she was really weak and could hardly stand. And I told her no. I said, no, I just want to do it myself, no. And she just wouldn't take no for an answer. And I had pulled the chair away from the kitchen counter and the stovetop because I just needed that sort of break. Sorry, there's a fly here. And she was determined. So she came over into the kitchen. She couldn't stand. And she drug the chair over to the stovetop. She couldn't stand, so she was pulling it on the ground as she was on the ground. And she said, no, Mommy, I want to cook too. And when I looked down and seeing her determination at pulling that chair over to the stovetop, you have to imagine she's gained a lot, at least like about 10 pounds within a 2-week period of time. And so she was very round and a round face, and she had lost all her hair. And she was probably dressed in a Disney princess costume. And she was just saying, no, I want to cook. And I just looked at her and I thought, who am I to say no to such determination? A child who can't stand herself but physically pulled this chair over and was so determined to be a part of life. Who was I to say no to her? So I said, okay. And I helped her up on the chair. And we turned the chair around so she could hold on to the back part and stand on the seat. And so it was sort of like a railing sort of thing. I didn't have it in the back, because if you put it in the back, the kids might lean against it and then the chair falls over. But if you put it towards the stovetop, then it's a little barrier and it's something they can hold on to. And that's what she did. She got up and she held on to it, and then she did her little part in helping to make the pasta. But it was at that moment that I realized, she just really is a determined young lady. She knows what she wants, and she's willing, to go that extra mile, to pull that chair over, and yeah. So that was a real learning experience for me. And that's when I realized that, she's not going to take no for an answer. And she really wanted to participate in life and the world. And that's how she did it at that time. So I said yes, and and we cooked, and then she ate. I don't think I ate. I mean, I like to eat, but not 7 times in one day. Yeah. So her medicine to make her not have to throw up was working. Everything was staying in, and she was fighting the leukemia, and it worked. So she went from almost full leukemic blood to nothing in a very short period of time. So the doctors seem to have known what they were doing too. So I can't complain. And she's alive today and happy today and living her life. So everything worked out the way it should. But yeah, as a mom, sometimes you're confronted with these moments that is just not in any textbook, and you have to deal with it. The other part of all this is that I want to share with you is that, when you're going through these things, you're not allowed to cry. You're not allowed to show despair and weakness and the fact that things are really bad. You have to stay positive and you have to stay just happy and optimistic in front of the child anyways. And since, I was the main caregiver, I was on 24/7 duty where I just didn't have time for myself or time to cry or anything like that. So from that day, I guess 15 years later, something like that, I finally, a couple of weeks ago, realized I was completely alone. And I let myself go. Finally, 15 years later, I finally cried like I haven't cried about that whole situation for me, for us, for her, like I'd never cried before. And it felt really good. I could let all that tension out, and I feel like a new woman, I have to say. But yes, as a mom, you have to stay strong, and you can't show everything that's going on in your mind or in the world around you. So I know how tough it is to be a mom, in good times and bad. I understand. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share with you there. The other thing I wanted to share is that, I made these little thank you books for people. And this is Jessie after that, about a year after what I just explained to you, where her hair started growing back. And then the second bout of really strong chemicals was about to start, where she lost her hair again. But I made these little thank you books. I'm going to say about 8 or 10 of them. And I intended to give them out to the people who helped us. I think I only got maybe 2 or 3 out. I don't know. Some of you, if you got them, you're the lucky ones. Because a lot of people didn't get theirs. But anyways, in this book, Jess, the woman who was our first sort of in-home caregiver, she eventually left us after about a year and went off to California to start an acting career. And while she was there, she went to Disneyland and got the autographs of all the Disney princesses that were there. So anyways, it was, and then she sent us the autographs, that was, so unexpected. She went around with a big sign that said Jessie on it and had the princesses hold it and make a photograph. It was beautiful. Thank you, Jess, for the book. And thank you for everybody who helped. And for those of you who actually got your books, congratulations, because I know I made them 1 year and then it took me about 4 years to get them out the door. They were all ready, and then something came up and I had to clean up, and that was that. They got put away in a box for a while. But anyways, I found one. This is actually the one that I wanted to send to Disney that never got this. So here, I will start showing you the different pictures. Here she is. I think this is a Cinderella dress. Yeah, I think so. And just look at that face. She's so cute. Oh. I'm a proud mom. And she's a great girl. So here. Oh, now she's dressed as Belle. Right? Right. Look. And we had these climbing things so that she could get her strength back and climb. This is the Mini Mookie turn-in gymnastic thing that I was doing. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to stop here. My daughter is my hero. I learned so much from her all the time. So the song of the day is Hero by Mariah Carey. And that's where I'm going to end it. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.